And welcome inside the D-Event Center, this side of the 2023 6A Girls State Championship Basketball Tournament. Our KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of this tournament brought to you by Heidemann & Associates. Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart with you. It's been the long trek of the regular season and the long trek of this week, but here we are. 4 championship games, and game number 1 on the day. Lone Peak versus Skyridge for the 3rd time this year, but this time, Dane, it's for all the marbles. The 6A state championship.
The whole Megillah. The whole ball of wax.
Yes.
Yes. Look, this is going to be fantastic. And the 2 teams that were preseason 1 and 2, they're seeded 1 and 2 in this tournament, finished 1 and 2 in Region 4, and we'll have 1 and 2 when it's all said and done. The big question, I asked one of the Skyridge coaches, do you have something special for today? He's like, hey, you never know. Right? You play the game, you see how it all unfolds on any given night. And look, I think if you're Skyridge, that's the right approach. Lone Peak has been at the top of the mountain in the state for over a year. And I think the question is, can Skyridge just put all that to the side, come out, play their best game, and shock the state? We're about to find out.
Well, a year ago, it was Lone Peak coming in this game against Fremont. And in that game, it was, well, maybe next year's the year for Lone Peak.
Yeah. And
Lone Peak took that opportunity and made it, no, it's this year is the year for Lone Peak. And that's really the message for Skyridge, too, is that, hey, even next year, with Cambry going to be a senior, Shade, who would be a senior, have all these younger classes on this team, that next year, no, it's this year. And that's the same message I'm sure that Nancy Warner could share with this outstanding group with her Lone Peak Knights, who are nationally ranked in the top 10. This is a good group. And we'll have a chance to talk more about them. It's Danya Perkins ready to jump it up against Sarah Bartholomew. And we are underway on Championship Saturday here on KSLSports.com. Your online home for state championships.
Boy, Skyridge so intent on not giving up an easy bucket on that tap forward.
As Woolston misses on 3. Yeah, they just seceded it.
Yep.
Let's come back. Cambry Blackham finds Oser. Oser couldn't get that one to go on the rebound, taken by Kaylee Woolston.
Kaylee's had, a great week here at Weber State, and she's brought the long ball, but she's been great on the boards and tempo, and she's played about as good as you can.
And Naya Tanuvasa, a year ago, she would hit a bunch of big shots, and that's a big one to start this one. 3-0 Lone Peak. As Oser sends that ball in the corner to Cambry Blackham. Cambry down the lane, goes at Tanuvasa. Left it off the front of the iron. That's off of Cambry, and it'll be Lone Peak basketball.
And the hard thing about Lone Peak is they just make you execute every play. There is no break.
Ooh. Same here, Shea Toole.
Yeah.
She knocked it out of bounds, so we'll stay here with Lone Peak. And a rarity there that Shawnee Nordstrom's actually going back toward the baseline on the full court press.
Skyridge, we've talked about this pressure as the tournament has gone on. Lone Peak's always had an ability to deal with it. Certainly a great scheme, but great athletes help as well. There you go.
Bartholomew finds Kaylee Wilson on the back end, and Kaylee goes up and in. Our reigning 6A Player of the Year.
She would seem to be in pretty good position to potentially repeat, right?
Well, remember Maggie Mendelson won our most outstanding player of the year, Ms. Basketball.
Yeah.
Kaylee's definitely 6A player of the year.
Yeah, she's definitely at that level, right?
Oh,
now.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you know, no pulls this year. We can't have nice things.
Nope.
So until they learn to be appreciated, it's centralized. As there's this the steal on the inbound, come back. Shawnee Nordstrom left that a little long off the bump. And now on the run. Cambry Blackham leaves it back for Danya Perkins. Danya gets all the way to the rim, and it crawls off.
Man, that's great utilization. You have that high screen, and Danya able to get around, and a couple opportunities for Skyridge inside early on, haven't been able to get to go.
Nordstrom sends that ahead to Tanuvasa. Naya straight away. McKaylee Ika. Yes. Her first bucket in the state championship game since the last bucket of last year's state championship game.
I mean, the smartest thing you've said so far today, Dusty, is this team of Lone Peak. And it is a team. And look, you can say, hey, Kaylee just has the one run. Well, yeah, but you got 2 threes by Tanavasa and Ika. I mean, like, they're so deep. Like, their starting lineup are all so talented.
As getting to the bucket and finishing is Ella Oser. And we know we got some family in Ohio. This is going to be quite the day for her grandma. As her cousin Max Toombs coming up in the 6A Boys Championship game as that ball goes out of bounds off of Bartholomew. It'll be Skyridge basketball.
We got 4 great games ahead of us. Of course, that cousin game will be 4:30.
I believe so. 6:30 for those of you in Ohio. As Oser sends that ball in the corner. 3 on the way from Toole. Doesn't go. Rebound to Hymas. And the foul to McKaylee Ika. And another fun and interesting note, Coach Shaylee Nielsen in her second season as the head coach at Skyridge. Been dealing with lots of stuff. Had a baby, baby Booker, who has been in the hospital. How about this? She teaches school. She's coaching basketball, and then she's at the state tournament this week. She's been going to the hospital to visit her baby. That finally we were able to go home. They say last night?
I think it was this week.
It was this week. Okay.
Yeah.
As Shea Toole gets all the way to the rim and scores.
Yeah, pretty incredible. I mean, that baby was born early, and awesome to hear baby Booker's healthy and everything's good there. But congratulations, Coach Nielsen.
Yes,
this would
absolutely
certainly be the cherry on top of what has been obviously a life-changing week for their family. And congratulations on the addition.
Absolutely. And it's Kaylee Woolston with the board and putback there on the miss. And it's 10-4 Lone Peak. As Oser hanging on a pivot, leaves it out for Danya Perkins. Danya goes at Bartholomew and finishes.
I like the thought there. We've seen Danya try to attack the rim a couple times here early on. Skyridge trying to work it inside, get to the rim.
It's a dangerous pass taken away. Oser. Blackham for 3. And it's a 1-point game here midway through the first quarter.
Nice exuberant cheer as well from the Skyridge faithful. And how about a defensive stop?
Yeah, nice play at the rim. Mr. Official said it's a block. Here comes Blackham on the other end. Anton Uvasa lost the handle. Ball goes out of bounds. And we will have the under 4 media timeout. 3:39 left in the first quarter. We got a tight one in the 6A championship game. It is Lone Peak 10, Skyridge 9. You're watching the 2023 6A Girls State Championship on KSLSports.com, your online home for state championships. And welcome back into the 6A State Championship game. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. It's always presented by Heidemann and Associates. If you have any questions, need some legal help, get a free consultation from Justin Heidemann. Let him know that Rewind sent you. And Heidemann and Associates, a Utah County-based law firm. The headquarters across the street from Riverside Golf Course. And I know a lot of the people listening to this game golf there. So if you need some help, go to Justin Heidemann. Zika can't get that one.
Boy, and Skyridge really gambling there. Lone Peak going small here. Bartholomew off the floor. They're trying to post up Kaylee, and Skyridge is trying to bring backside help and not leave the wing. And they did a really good job of navigating that, getting that initial stop.
Marseilles Mealy checked in during that break as Danya Perkins goes at Ika. And Perkins crawls that up and in. And how about this? Skyridge takes an 11-2 lead.
Someone jump on the phone. Skyridge is leading Lone Peak. I'm just kidding. First quarter. Look, I love the response. This game was 8-2 Lone Peak. Yeah. Been a nice charge here from Skyridge.
Kennedy Wilson, the freshman, checked in for Coach Nancy Warner. As Kaylee in the lane is fouled. Ooh, got a little awkward there as Kaylee hit the deck, and there'll be free throws for the future BYU Cougar.
Rare miss.
Does not happen very often.
I mean, only like 5 times out of 100 that happens.
At best, yeah. Is that what it would be? 5 times out of 100 is 95%?
Yep.
There we go. I never thought about it in those terms. So that's why I was like, I trust your math. I mean, I like my math.
No, that's what it'd be. Which is remarkable, right? Because I can barely make 5 out of 100. Let alone think that's the miss rate.
Like I said, I was going to make a bad joke. Never mind. I'm not going to go there about being math.
4 years, she's been over 91. I think 90. 91. Was it 92? I was thinking 90. Anyway, either way, it's crazy.
Yeah. As Kaylee Woolston, the 4-year starter, gets all the way to the rim and finishes. I mentioned Kaylee can go play for Coach Whiting. It wasn't going to be Coach Juddy, but now Coach Whiting at BYU. As Cambry Blackham drives and is fouled by Kaylee Woolston. It'll be free throws here for Cambry Blackham.
And I actually really, if you get Kaylee guarding Cambry, I drive to the hole all game and see if you can get Kaylee in some foul trouble, make officials make decisions, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to try to combat this Lone Peak team. Obviously, they're deep. It's not just about Kaylee. She's had such a week this week that if you can disrupt that, see if that can maybe give a little bit of an advantage.
Well, make her work on one end, well, maybe deaden those legs on the other. There's the first free throw good from Cambry Blackham, and Cambry got them both. So 13 all, 1:50 left in the quarter as Ika gets that ball to head to Kennedy Woolston. Cross court, Shawnee Nordstrom. Shawnee for 3, no. Loose ball taken by Ika.
Oh, man.
Hymas and Ika. And McKaylee's like, hey, my cousin Apu, he's lighting it up at the combine. She's not bound to stay on the floor for long.
I mean, look at this hit. Bam. Tell you, if we had girls football, Hymas would be a linebacker, right?
We do have girls football.
That's a good hit. Sanctioned.
We do have, UHSAA sanctioned, right.
Yeah.
It's the only girls football association in the country.
Yeah.
I learned that in the commercial during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Knew it before.
But I mean, that's a boom.
Yeah, it is, too. Got her head across the bow. It's a 3 from the corner. Ika, goes in and out. Rebound to Blackham. On the run with Cambry. Cambry at Woolston. Nice hands by Kennedy Woolston. Will stay here with Skyridge. As Kaylee Rich comes on for Naya Tanuvasa. Been a fun week at Weber State. I want to thank all the people at Weber that make it so easy to do games here. You
can say it's been great.
Great to be at Weber State. 4-3, Woolston short. As that ball goes out of bounds. And our own Vince Francis has been at home all week in more ways than one.
Yeah, my poor car.
He's a Wildcat.
Almost got to get an oil change. I've driven so much this week.
I might be due for one.
Carbon's dynos are helping me out. That's for certain.
Yeah, that Utah, the Utah Raptor. I mean,
yeah,
that's my home. Go back the other way, and Cambry Blackham is fouled by Kaylee Rich. Going to be free throws here for Cambry.
A couple things early on. I know it's just first quarter. I don't think Lone Peak has hit a 3 yet. And
2 3s.
Yeah, they have. You're right.
And
I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah. But Shawnee hasn't hit one yet. Kaylee hasn't looked for that yet. If you're Skyridge, you're going to live with that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because the way they've shot it this week, that's how they've grown a lot of their leads and really, created that separation. So it's been a cool shooting start for Lone Peak.
Camby Blackham was 1 of 2, 14-13. Shawnee resetting the offense here for Coach Warner with 40 seconds, about an 18-second difference between game clock and shot clock. As Nordstrom goes right at Mealy, couldn't get it. Rich with the rebound, sends it out. Kaylee Woolston, feet set, and that is just as high as a free throw here for, well, not really, but kind of.
This week it has been.
For Woolston.
I mean, this week it has been. It's been a good week shooting for her. That's a big made three.
13 seconds left in the quarter. Blackham on the drive. Send out for three. Larson, no. And that ball goes out of bounds just inside of a second left here, as it'll be the final moments here of the first quarter. As Shea Toole come back on for Larson. And that will do it for the first quarter. And at the end of one, it's the reigning 6A champion, Lone Peak Knights 16, Skyridge 14. You are watching the 2023 6A Girls State Championship game on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Are you looking for something to do during spring break? Well, we got Utah Jazz Camps going to take care of that. Go to utahjazzcamps.com to see the schedule coming out for camps coming close to you. And, of course, with two schools very close to this, two communities close to the Utah Shoot 360 facility in Lehigh, you can go to the Utah Shoot 360 facility and go work on your skills. Again, I want to thank Utah Jazz Camps for supporting KSL Sports Rewind. There's our good friend Dan Barney. It's been a tough week on Dan's throat, it sounds like.
I get it.
Maybe you let him in on a little secret as that ball's loosed on you. Perkins tracks it down.
Diet Coke, Dan. Diet Coke.
And you got to get a third member of your broadcast crew for a couple of games.
that helps.
As Camry Blackham drives at Tanuvasa, can't get it. Rebound to Bartholomew.
Very even first quarter. Each team shooting 40%-ish from the floor. The threes have been the differentiator for Lone Peak.
Tanuvasa toes up a three, can't get it. Woolston with the rebound. She and Oser tied up there. Jump ball belongs to Lone Peak. And again, difference of the girls' game. You see Woolston and Oser kind of get tied up there. Neither of them are going to back down, but there wasn't chirping after that or anything. Is that ball loose? And another jump ball. Possession arrow belongs now to Skyridge. As Dane always points out, got to know, you don't have to worry about knowing the possession arrow in girls basketball. And it's very important, too.
You don't?
Well, because you know it. You don't have to go, whose ball is it?
Yeah.
As Mealy going to drive. That's a traveling violation.
When we talk about players who've had good weeks, yes. Mealy's had a good week.
Yes. And my obligatory mention of her father, the former BYU All-American tight end, Atula Mealy, who played for Coach Mike Holmgren for a number of years, including the Super Bowl year for the Seattle Seahawks. Trying that baseball pass from Tanu Vasa. And, maybe a soccer throw-in there from Naya, but taken away in a foul.
So we know Hymas would be a linebacker. Cambry's going to play safety.
Yes. Wilson's the quarterback.
Well, that's a different team.
Okay, I see. I thought we were just taking players on the
floor. On the floor, yeah. I mean, you'd have an all-star roster.
Yeah, Mealy's a tight end.
Yeah.
Mealy's our Travis Kelce.
There you go.
Or Atula Mealy in college. As there's a foul. Going to put Donya Perkins at the line. Matter of fact, we talked with Reno Mahe. First of all, I mean, Reno, 10 kids. 5 boys, 5 girls. Had her 10th child this year.
Yeah.
My former biology classmate. Had each other's back. Let's put it that way. As Perkins rolls in the first. And I can joke with Reno about it. Even openly joke with Reno about it. But let us know that most of these girls go to the same ward, the Polynesian girls. They're all recently in the same ward until recently there was a split or something like that, as he shared with us. So they've known them forever.
2 for 2 at the line there, tying it back up. Skyridge is not playing intimidated here in this first half.
No, and there's something about they know these Lone Peak girls. It's not like, it's Lone Peak. This is Kaylee. This is Naya, Shawnee. They know each other. As Nordstrom leaves that for Bartholomew. Sarah off the window and good. Then a nice scene here for Sarah Bartholomew. A year ago against Maggie Mendelson is where Sarah Bartholomew went from being a freshman or a sophomore to being Sarah Bartholomew in that game.
Yeah, she had herself a big ball game and defended so well in the block. And I think on a lot of other teams she's probably featured.
Mm-hmm.
And here she recognized, hey, look, we've got a great unit. She loves her teammates, loves her role, loves the ability to compete, contribute. And it has become a very unselfish roster. We talk about how much talent there is there, and you don't see a lot of ego or, hey, that should have been my shot or I want it. And that speaks to, it's Michaela Ika who hits the game winner in last year's semifinal and championship. Yeah, and championship. And so it's just it's such a great culture in Lone Peak basketball, and that's a credit to the coaching staff and what they've been able to really establish there.
Yeah, that's where the ball ends up, and is the right shot as Shawnee Nordstrom steps into a 3, and Shawnee a little off here this morning.
Go ahead.
Well, we all know now live, but when they go back and rewatch this years from now, this is an 11 o'clock tip-off.
Yeah.
11 a.m.
Yeah. And our scoreboard, we're using capture. It's 18-16 Lone Peak. That'll get itself worked out here.
The double snowman there getting the capture. As Donya Perkins goes at Woolston, misses. Oh, there was
how about saved off the back, her own back. Oh, yeah, that's got to be a double dribble.
Well, that was kind of from the very beginning. Nancy Warner wanted to foul on the rebound.
Yeah.
The official gave an explanation during the play as Warner saying, look, it was a trip. She still doesn't like the response. You usually don't see Nancy get that animated.
Yeah.
Perkins blocked away by Kaylee Woolston.
Nice job by Kaylee getting around there, staying vertical, waiting for that shot in the denial.
There's immediate, was the foul or just out of bounds? Want to make sure. Into the details with number 11.
Well, I'll tell you this. If she were to pick up a foul, it'd be her second. So that's the difference of staying on and coming off. So
23 points in the first half in the semifinal. With Kaylee Wilson at 2 in the second half as a ball in the corner. Back to Shea Toole. Kennedy right there with her. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Shea Toole forces it up. No. And got her own board. Finds Donya Perkins. And we're going to have a foul, not jump ball. That will be the 7th team foul on Lone Peak. It'll be 1-1 free throws.
And that will be
Skyridge.
On Kaylee. So the second here on Kaylee. Ika was getting ready to come on, and it'll actually be Nordstrom heading off. Skyridge's gone to the line frequently here in this first half.
Yes, they have. And it's helped keep this game where it is.
Yeah.
And Donya Perkins got the first. And the other part we know about Skyridge, and we talked about this in the semifinal a lot, it's about pressure defense, too. They pick up full court. They made the switch in the semifinal.
Unless you're Davis, right? I mean, that's been the team that's dealt the best with it.
As Perkins goes 2 for 2, and we're tied once again at 18.
I really like the other Donya free throw. Front of the rim, back of the rim, glass rim, in. I mean, when you switch it, that's kind of boring.
Right.
Literally, like her first three were all that same rhythm. It's like, man, she's got this thing locked in.
Unless you play for the Dallas Mavericks where they have like a microphone or something on it. Nothing is louder than a swish on a free throw for the Dallas Mavericks. It's been that way forever. It does. It hits. It goes. I'll tell you, and sound does not travel very well in the Metroplex. I want to ask one of our officials, what is with this? Like,
the mechanic, the proper table mechanic?
Yeah. I don't understand. It's not like they keep track. I don't see them tick anything. It's like, hey, you only get 5 entries into the ball game.
You know what I think it is, though? I think some of it is that you want to keep those lanes really clear and distinct so that you don't get lazy later in the game and like a half table run so that they don't recognize it or see it. That would be my guess, right? They want players to know, I need you to come all the way to the table so that I know when you want to come in, as opposed to maybe obscurity of being closer to the bench. That's just a guess. Okay. I have no idea.
Well, I guess
I don't know.
Gatekeepers. I guess I'm a sales guy, and I always struggle with gatekeepers. Got to know them. Got to like them. They're just part of life.
It's all about discipline, Dusty. Remember that word, discipline.
I have Mary Poppins going through my head at the moment. We're not going to get into that. Outside, Shawnee Nordstrom. Short on the 3. The rebound to Shea Toole. And the defense from Skyridge. We were just talking about it. One and done on one end. Come down. They got a chance to take the lead. Oser with Woolston. Ella looking for space, goes back in, and it is a lead to the Falcons. Ella Oser. And timeout, Nancy Warner. How about these Skyridge Falcons? Went 0-2 in the regular season, and they've got a 2-point advantage here, Dane.
Tell you, they're playing loose. They're playing free.
We're 2 seconds above we're on the media timeout, too, so we're going to stay right here with 30-second timeout.
I saw it and I was like, seriously, we could have waited 2 seconds.
I meant to give you the signal. Nancy knew what she was doing. She wanted to do this without having to burn another timeout, but we want to remind you that it's almost mission call open season here, well, across everywhere, but really focused here in the state of Utah. And if you've got a missionary that's going to be open the mission call and you need to get outfitted, go to Modern Missionary to get all their clothing for their service. And if you go register them on their website, you can get a free shirt and washable tie. Again, that's with Modern Missionary. But game 1 of 4 today on Championship Saturday. We made some changes to the state tournament a few years ago. And I was a big proponent of it. I didn't get on a table and pound for this, but when they announced what they were going to do, I was like, that's interesting that they'd have the boys and girls at the same side. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it makes today really fun. All 4 games are all on today.
It does. And as the week goes on, your girls' games get bigger and bigger crowds.
Yeah.
And so it makes for really fun environments, and on championships it's fun, and you get 4 state championships, same site, same time. Like, it does. It's been great.
And let's be honest, 2 games in 1 day, that's child's play. We need 4, at least 4. 3 on the way, short from Kaylee Woolston. And Shawnee, again, just uncharacteristically, Woolston and Shawnee a little off here in the first half. As Camry Blackham has that one poked away by Nordstrom. Kaylee Woolston, cross it up, give it up to Tanu Vasa, and Naya lays it in. Nice find from Woolston.
Yeah. And I think we're so accustomed to seeing 4 or 5 Lone Peak players turn it on early that when you have a couple of missed shots early on, it's like, oh, boy.
And Ozer misses on that junction jumper. The board from Woolston on the push now with Michaela Ika. Tanuvasa going to drive out at the rim, and Naya having a terrific first half.
So, well, we'll wait.
Gary Blackham can't get that. Here's the rebound from Kendi Woolston. Now Michaela Ika. Ika quickly head to Kaylee. Kaylee had that one tipped away by Shea Toole. Now on the run with Hymas. Blackham fits it into Ozer. Shea Toole pump the three, drive to the rim, and Shea Toole ties us back up at 22.
You want to know when you're locked in, how many times does Shea Toole turn down that three, but instead recognizes, hey, I actually got a lane here inside and ties it up.
Shawnee Nordstrom. That's back to Michaela Ika.
I think that's a three in any other game Shea Toole's taken.
I completely agree. As Mealy guards Ika, hands off to Nordstrom. Shawnee in the lane, drop it off to Kendi Wilson. Back out, Michaela Ika. Going to drive it, Ozer. A little sharp off the window and the board. And a chance for the lead for Skyridge.
At the rim, Lone Peak has not executed like we've seen all year long.
Mealy. Back rims a three. I thought that was going to go.
It was
for
online,
Marseilles.
yeah.
Because we're right behind her. You know, like that ball's going in. So as that ball goes off of Tanu Vasa and off of Lone Peak. And that is going to get us their first stoppage under 4. It's going to be immediate timeout. I got to love that. I got the Skyridge bench on. That's a 10-second count. She came across the clock, across the floor at 26 seconds.
Well, and I think some of it was the bench was awfully close to the playing surface as well, right as the ball's going there. And,
yeah.
But, yeah.
But, you know, it was 10. It was like, well, she came across the 26. I've got a clock to help me out. Timeout on the floor. 1:29 left in the half. We got a good one. Tied at 22. You're watching the 6A state championship game on KSLSports.com.
It all starts with a smile. To show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words, smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Stonehaven Dental. Schedule online at stonehavendental.com.
And welcome back in, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. 1:29 left in the second quarter. That ball goes out of bounds off of Ika. It'll be Skyridge basketball.
Boy, and they had Tanavasa running right to the rim, wide open. I think that's where Ika was likely going to go just based off that design. Instead, another Lone Peak turnover here.
And Kaylee Rich is going to come on for Kaylee Woolston. And Kaylee Lawrence comes on for Ika, not to pick up a cheap one here inside of a minute and a half left, especially for Kaylee Woolston with 2 personal fouls currently. Big possessions here in the last minute 20 of the first half. Hymas with Lawrence. Got a little bit of space. Traveling violation.
Yeah. Yep, that other step, that pivot foot drug.
Yeah, you can only do the electric slide on the dance table, or the dance floor, I should say.
You know what they say, Dusty? Guilty feet have got no rhythm.
You know
That's the line for you right there.
Yeah.
George Michael, Careless Whisper.
It's a good song. Oh, and that ball is kicked. And we'll stay here. The cover from the band, I think it was Seether. It's like a hard rock cover of it. It's actually pretty good, too.
Yeah.
You should have known,
yeah.
Should have known better than the Cheetah Friend.
Yep.
As Woolston comes back on for Rich. As we have 59 seconds left here in the first half. Oh, dangerous pass from Lawrence, and it's taken away by Mealy. Marseilles gives that up to Blackham. Cambry back to Hymas. Abbey pumped the three. Now pulls the three and hits the three. 25-22. Skyridge with the lead.
This kind of feels a little bit like that last year championship game, doesn't it?
It most certainly does.
I thought we'd have a little more separation by now, and they still hang around and hit a big shot, and all right then.
All righty then. 25-22, 30-second timeout. We'll stay here. Is not going anywhere, but man, how about these Skyridge Falcons, Dane?
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you, like, even that timeout, I mean, I see some players on the bench kind of jumping like, yeah, we can do this. We can do this.
You want to know why the Red Sox hit Mariano Rivera?
I don't want to talk about it.
The only unanimous Hall of Famer in the history of the Hall of Fame. You know why? Because they saw them all the time. And it's a little different. As we said earlier, Skyridge isn't walking in going, it's Lone Peak. Oh, boy, it's Lone Peak. He's like, they're walking across. We've already seen them twice. We've seen them all the time.
Yeah.
They know each other. They're in essentially the same communities.
Well, and these rosters are so similar to what they had last year. I mean, it's like you could argue they've seen him 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah. It's like, you know that Cutter's coming, and you know what he does.
Right.
And here for Skyridge, like, we know, they're not surprised at what Nancy Warner's going to throw at them.
No.
And I love here, Lone Peak came out in a certain set, and Skyridge's like, okay, we'll go half court. I think they called it the Davis defense. But what a great job from Shaylee Nielsen here in this first half. And she's had her girls ready to go. And that football side staff, they allowed all their coaches, the sophomore coaches and everyone, say, hey, come be a part of the party this week. And they've allowed them all on the bench.
Which is awesome.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Lawrence back to Nordstrom. Shawnee to the corner. Tonavasa. They say shuffled her feet first. So turnover.
I couldn't see that. The Skyridge student section blocking the view, but boy, great job even chasing her off that line. I mean, she's open. But you see that hard closeout there by Blackham.
Ten seconds left in the half. Blackham with 5. Hymas passes up the 3, 2, 1. Gets the shot, the horn, blocked by Tanuvasa. But how about the Skyridge Falcons? Went 0-2 in the regular season. But the state championship game is all that matters in a game like this. It is the Skyridge Falcons leading Lone Peak 25-22 as we go to the break. You're watching the 2023 6A Girls State Championship Basketball game on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
So welcome back into the Event Center. Before we go over our halftime stats, let's go back to the Vince Francis House of Pain for me and Dane. Let's go back to a rewind flashback.
So, because now my little girls come in my room. Okay, go upstairs.
No.
Just take it, please. All right, let's bring in Coach Andrew Fresca of Woods Cross. And, Coach, you know, Dane and I talked about how big this game was. Hold on, let me wait till my screaming 2-year-old sends me to say
It's a great time, huh?
Oh, Staley Jean. Vince has got to send me that. Vince, you got to send me that Dropbox link so I can send it to Megan. Oh, little Staley Jean. I never want to go back to that, by the way.
You know, Vince does a great job of always putting our product together.
Yeah.
But, yeah, whenever we do calls, there's always those moments because there's so much going on at our household. And it's like, wait, hold on.
Well, we were doing bracketology last week.
The dryer just went off. Wait.
Right. Well, bracketology last week, and my son Detmer he runs.
Yeah.
He's never like galloped. And apparently he was like jumping up and down. He's like, I am so sorry, because Detmer was like galloping across the living room, which is right above my head as we were shooting the video. And so it's always so much fun to look back on that. Those are not times that I had to back on. I love my family, but you can see the frustration just trying to shoot the video. But can't believe we're getting ready for the second half of this game. And we take a look at the stats from this first half. I mean, the most interesting thing in this one, as Dane will go through this too, but free throws. Skyridge, 7 of 8 from the free throw. Lone Peak was 1 of 2, and there was Katie Wilson, the only one shooting free throws. And the most shocking stat for me, the most shocking stat of the first half, Shawnee Nordstrom, 0 for 7 from the floor.
Yeah, that's a big one. And, I mean, you look at how that first half went, Dusty, both teams under 40%, 34 for Skyridge, 39 for Lone Peak. The rebounding edge, this is close. I mean, I thought Lone Peak would be dominative on the glass, 16-13 the advantage there. The turnovers, 10 turnovers for Lone Peak. Wow. When was the last time that's happened in a half?
Yeah.
I mean,
in a game, yes. Half?
Yes.
Never.
Yeah. And I mean, you talked about the 3-ball, just 3 of 12. Free throw line disparity. A lot of things have to go right for Skyridge to get a win in a game like this. In that first half, a lot of things did.
Absolutely. Had a chance to see student body president Rosie Hamblin in the building for Lone Peak. Close family friend. So here we go.
I got a family reunion, the Bartholomew's, and the Halls. And it's awesome.
And they're all here.
It's awesome.
It's a family reunion on the day, too, for a bunch of other teams as we are ready for the second half. It is Lone Peak basketball trailing 25-22. As Skyridge making this a ball game. As we talk about, this is like last year's game where Lone Peak was hanging around with Fremont as Woolston off on the 3. The rebound to Tanuvasa.
Oh, and Perkins, I don't know if they bang knees or what.
Danya Perkins goes down, and Shawnee Nordstrom with her first points of the ball game.
Yeah, Kaylee was a little slow to get up, too. They both appear to be okay. Two big contributors for their respective sides.
Danya Perkins drives at Tanuvasa. Can't get that one to go. Rebound to Kaylee Woolston.
We've seen Danya work off that high screen a couple of times, and that time defended well. They stayed right with her.
Tanuvasa misses on the 3. Backside board to
go.
Bartholomew. Sarah sends out.
Man, that's a tough rebound.
Naya gets that one. She had the first points of the day for Lone Peak, and now gives Lone Peak a 26-25 advantage. And we know Danya Perkins is tough. I mean, she has had, I talked about it before, I did both of the games of the regular season games. She had that hand already wrapped before that game. And so her offhand, that left hand, and she goes up for the shot. Fouled by Bartholomew. It's going to put Danya at the line for 2 free throws.
Skyview, my goodness, I'm sorry. Skyridge, you know, we're using a lot of the same like phrases in our high school names, but that's for another time. Skyridge continues to attack inside. I like the mindset. I mean, again, and we mentioned it, Shea Toole had an opportunity at 3 in the first half, and she drove instead. It was, guys, we don't want to fall down to this group with a bunch of 2-0 runs, right? Like, we got to be able to answer and get buckets, and that's been the approach, and it's worked today.
Missed on the second. Rebound to Tanuvasa. The Skyridge going to pick up full court as well. Hey, nothing was harder than Syracuse and Skyridge earlier this week. Is the three from Ika, no. And the rebound to Bartholomew. Sarah banks it in. Little stat stuffer there for Sarah Bartholomew. And a 28-26 lead now for Lone Peak. Cambry Blackham for the lead. A deep three. The trap there. Woolston has that one taken away by Hymas. Hymas, Euro, and it's a three-point advantage for Skyridge. The Falcons can feel it.
Abby's played really well today.
Nordstrom finds Sarah Bartholomew, and Sarah makes it a one-point game.
Now we're getting up and down the floor. My goodness, tempo picking up here. Got to think that would play to Lone Peak's advantage.
Cambry drives at Tanuvasa. Series of moves. Offhand. Cambry Blackham. You think she had to make that move as younger sister to Allie?
You stick your left foot in, you stick your left foot out, you stick your left foot in. Yeah,
absolutely. McKaylee Ika around Danya Perkins. And McKaylee gets it to go. Hey, how about some offensive flow to this game?
Yeah.
This is feeling like, what was that, a couple weeks ago in that double overtime, 177 to 176 NBA game? No, I'm not talking about the All-Star game.
Yeah, no, that was a double OT, right?
I think so. Always go back to, 1986, Kiki Vandeweghe and the Nuggets had that original highest scoring game. It was in regulation, like 146, one something.
Yeah. I don't know what league you're referring to.
I don't know. Someone on Twitter will hit us up and say, Dusty, I can't believe you forgot this. I felt so bad last night.
Hey, keeping them honest, huh?
Yeah.
Keeping them honest.
Bad Dusty. As on the drive, Cambry Blackham fouled by Sarah Bartholomew. And I think that's number 2 on Sarah.
No, that's on Rich. Didn't they call that on Rich?
They have the same hair.
I thought they called it on 32. Our spotter wasn't spotting.
There we go. Intern Preston. So it goes on carries. There we go. Yeah. Preston. I'll give him. I'm taking back the replay.
I think the second on Rich is what they said.
And Blackham misses the first. And front rim's the second. And the rebound to Blackham. Finds Hymas. I'm going to say on Skyridge, maybe reset the offense here. But Blackham on the drive, got around. Does not get it to go. Rebound to Bartholomew on the push. Nordstrom ahead to Rich. Taken away by Hymas. Now the jump ball with Kaylee Woolston. And possession arrow belongs to Skyridge. As Kennedy Woolston set to check in. So she'll come in for Kaylee Rich. This is going to – I can't believe we're seeing this. This is going to be a close one. Skyridge is not backing down.
Yeah.
Little Tom Petty playing in the building. And the step through, blocked away by Bartholomew.
Nay.
Ozer sends that one back out to Mealy. Marseilles, Mealy short on the 3. Rebound loose, taken by Nordstrom. Got numbers now with Lone Peak. Shawnee back things up, hands it to Ika to the corner. Kennedy Woolston, long on the 3. Nearly banked it in. Backside board to Bartholomew. You're going to have a foul. I think this is going to go to Shea Toole. Yes, it is. Because remember, there is no such thing. There is no such thing as over the back. There is no contact here from Bartholomew. That's my fault. Not Preston. That's on Dusty.
I thought Sarah did a great job of going vertical.
Yep. She can go over. She can't touch her. That'd be a loose ball foul. So she can get the rebound over. There's no such thing as over the back. As Woolston can't get that one and then hits the deck. The ball loose. Taken by Bartholomew. Hand back to Ika. We'll have a stoppage at the next dead ball as Ika goes down the lane and the seesaw continues. 34-33. Shea Toole off on the triple. The rebound to Woolston. Ika tracks it down.
I didn't know if she was going to get there.
I didn't either. Shawnee Nordstrom, baseline J won't go. And the rebound to Hymas. Abby Hymas goes at Sarah Bartholomew. Ozer back to Hymas. Pulls for the long two. No, the rebound.
Boy, it feels like that shot clock hasn't seen less than 15 for this whole third quarter, huh?
The way we like to see it.
Just because we have a shot clock doesn't mean you need to use it, right?
There's no reason to use all 35 seconds. You don't have to. The rule says just shoot by 35 seconds. Shawnee Nordstrom still can't find the range as Shea Toole claims that board. And down the floor we go with the Falcons. And finally, Coach Niels is like, I know it's supposed to be a dead ball. It's not happening. Timeout on the floor. Lone Peak leads 34-33. You're watching the 6A Girls State Championship basketball game on KSLSports.com. Welcome back in the D Event Center. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart.
You ready for a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
You might not love this one. I don't have Kaylee with points since the first quarter.
No. She has not scored. I mean, that speaks what Skyridge's been able to do.
Yeah.
Shawnee and Kaylee haven't, combined their most on Kaylee and Shawnee game I've seen.
12 points combined today.
I mean, if you don't know, rewind. We've done all of the Lone Peak boys and girls games.
Yeah.
So I've seen This is
the closest game I've seen Lone Peak play since the state championship.
It's the closest game I've seen since the Sierra Canyon game in the Holiday Hoop Fest, where they trailed by 19 in that game and got it down to 3.
Well, and this is the first time that I don't feel like Lone Peak has been able to get into their tempo
and
do what they want to do on a regular basis.
Well, the funny thing is they've gotten in their tempo at times that run up and down,
right?
But just
haven't capitalized.
Have not capitalized. It's Cambry Blackham wide on the 3.
And, it's interesting because we're starting to see more threes on both sides.
Yeah.
And both are struggling.
Well, and the thing is, remember last year we moved to the Marriott Center on the second for just championship day because of scheduling conflicts. We thought, well, the larger venues, what's that going to do? Been here all week.
Yeah.
Been here all week.
And by the way, I had like 4 cougar tails that day. It is possible.
Yeah, it is possible. They just kept bringing them to us.
I know. This is great. The corn dog at D Event Center, 2 thumbs up.
Money, yeah. Oh, Wilson off on the triple. Gatlin's online but wouldn't go. And the chance for Skyridge to continue the seesaws. Abby Hymas, another 3 for Abby Hymas.
Boy, no one picks her up. All the space, and finally Bartholomew tries to close out, but it's too late at that point, and Hymas has been probably the best three-point shooter.
And Ika had Danya Perkins on her hip, took advantage and gets the foul. And I'll put Michaela Ika at the line.
And the other thing for me is Lone Peak hasn't hit a 3 since those early 2.
Yeah, I remember Tanu Vasa and Ika opened up with 3s.
Yep.
So it does go to Perkins up, maybe just for a second on that replay. They would hit Blackham with it, but it does, I think correctly so, go on Danya Perkins as Mealy comes on for Toole. As Mercedes Mealy, we've talked about a lot of the athletes in this state, and it just feels like we have got so many right now that are sophomores and juniors.
Yep.
And throw Mercedes Mealy into the mix. And we haven't had a chance to do 4A basketball. We also had the young lady up at Ridgeline that everyone
Skinner?
says Skinner
Emily
is probably the best player in the state as a sophomore. We've had a lot of people share that opinion.
Well, we saw her last year as a freshman, and it was pretty impressive.
As Cambry Blackham gets the and one up Tanuvasa. So tie the game at 36 and a chance to take the lead back.
And Cambry now with 13, a chance to go to the line for 14.
So here we go. (39-36). As down the floor comes Ika. Off the screen of Bartholomew. McKaylee into the lane. Force it up, blocked by Perkins. No, we can get the foul on Perkins.
Wow. Well, that may be fortunate on that one. Have another look at the replay here.
Yeah, the left hand, left arm. When she brought it forward, right?
Yeah.
It can be a vertical arm, but when you're moving it forward.
I was actually surprised that Ika tried to take that shot. When you get that switch, and now you've got the much longer Perkins defending. I think the second there on Danya.
And Ika goes 1 of 2. So 39-37. First second half trail against a team from Utah here for Lone Peak. Hymas leaves that one for Perkins. Bartholomew came over, and there's the foul to Sarah Bartholomew as Skyridge can absolutely feel it. As number 3 there on Sarah Bartholomew.
And this is one where Bartholomew goes over to help, and then coming back to try to retreat. You just see that arm just drift down, the body contact there. Skyridge has lived at the line today, and it's been critical for them in maintaining pace here with Lone Peak.
And the second good from Perkins. And a 4-point lead.
Boy, and this was not how this game started. It was 8-2 Lone Peak right out of the gate. It was like, oh boy. And Coach Nielsen's kept her team in it, focused.
Kennedy Woolston, no call there for Hymas. Good defense. Coach Warner can't believe it.
Yeah, I can understand the Lone Peak fans wanting that one.
That's one where it's like, well, maybe you're not shooting free throws because of style of play. I mean, that's very similar style of play.
Yeah.
As Perkins terminates, gets down to Blackham. Bartholomew came over, now going to take her out to the perimeter. Goes by her, reverses, and the foul is going to put Cambry Blackham at the line. Is that number 4 on Sarah Bartholomew?
I think it is. Yep. She had just picked up her third, and I'm a fan in basketball. When a player's got 3, you attack them, right? And you get that switch, and the mindset of Cambry say, all right, great, let's peel this out. I'm going to operate in space. I think I can take it off the dribble. And now Sarah going to have to head to the bench.
How about this? Skyridge with a chance to go up 6 points on the top 10 nationally ranked Lone Peak Knights. Here comes Shawnee Nordstrom.
I've got 10 in the quarter for Cambry.
So Lone Peak looking for the final shot of the quarter. They're going to spread things out here for Kaylee Woolston. Woolston's going to have Shea Toole with her at 10 seconds. Rich out for the screen. Woolston gets around, sends it to the corner. McKaylee Ika for 3. And that's how the third quarter comes to a close. But not the way that anyone would see it coming into this game, that it would be Skyridge leading heading into the fourth. We go into the final quarter of the 6A basketball season on the girls' side, with Skyridge leading 43-40 on Lone Peak. You're watching the 2023 6A championship game on KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
How about the year for Skyridge Athletics? They won their first ever football state championship. They won their first ever swimming state championship. And now their girls are 8 minutes away from winning their first ever basketball state championship.
We were on the floor before the game talking with the Skyridge coach Reno Mahe, who also happens to be on the football staff, and Coach Lehman walked by and said, hey, it's AD Coach Lehman. You said, no, he'll always be Coach Lehman. And Reno said, no, it's state championship Coach Lehman. And he was like, yeah, I'm passing out the good vibes this morning, and those good vibes have been received well by the girls' basketball program.
How about this? We're 27 seconds in, and Coach Nilsson took a timeout, worried about a turnover there for Skyridge.
So we mentioned that Cambry had 10 in the third, so did Ika. With Lone Peak, we talk about all the support scoring well. When Shawnee's not going, she's just got 2. Kaylee has the 10, but all those back in the first. Bartholomew on the bench in foul trouble. And she's going to check in here with 7:33 to go. Yeah. Wow. But who's going to be that player to step up? And just like it was last year in the playoffs, it's Michaela Ika trying to keep Lone Peak in this thing while that offense finds its traction.
Let me remind you, last year in the state tournament, the Lone Peak, it was a semifinal against Harriman. They struggled in that ball game, and it took Ika hitting a shot as clock was running out in the semifinals to send them even to the championship game.
Right.
And then hit the game winner shot against Fremont. As Ozer on the drive and the foul to Shawnee Nordstrom. And to Nordstrom, I think that's her first.
I think so.
As Kennedy Wilson will check in.
I tell you what, Skyridge continues just to attack the basket.
Yeah. Well, they got spacing, and they're just going after it. As Padella Ozer leaves the first one off the back of the iron, and it's quickly Kennedy Wilson comes in.
And we talked about the free throw advantage. Skyridge 13 of 17 from the line. Lone Peak 4 of 6.
The second doesn't go either, so 0 for 2 trip to the line. As Michaela Ika gets it across to Woolston. Kennedy to Shawnee Nordstrom, and Shawnee lays it up and in. The easiest 2 points you're going to find today. That's a 1-point game. As Cambry Blackham drives at Taunavasa. Here's Ozer. Now Shea Toole, drop it back in. Ella, left hand, back rim, and a rebound to Kaylee Woolston. So now a chance for Lone Peak to get the lead.
And I want to clarify, Bartholomew is not on the floor. She ran to the table in that timeout.
She came in and came off on the free throw.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Taunavasa got around Danya Perkins, draws the foul. It'll be 2 free throws to Naya Taunavasa.
And I like this for Lone Peak. This has been an uncustomary game for them. But this is where, for me, I'm like, so do the same thing, right? Work it inside, try to get to the rim, get some easier looks.
Yeah. Taunavasa misses the first. Going to get a little tight here in the last 6:45.
Yes, it is.
But Taunavasa was a starter last year. This young lady that as a freshman started. I remember she's a sophomore this year. Remember right? As the second rolls in as well. So tied up at 43. Toole over to Mealy. Marseilles on the drive at Taunavasa. Oh, nice duck under, but left it sharp off the window. And the rebound to Woolston.
Man, that's a great bit of work there. Lone Peak fortunate. She just sent that a little strong.
Shawnee Nordstrom misses on the 3, and it's Shea Toole with the loose ball. Hymas gives it to Perkins. Danya goes at Woolston. No, gets her own board. Goes back up and gets a foul call, and there'll be free throws to Danya Perkins. Lone Peak wanted a 3-second call. It'll be Danya Perkins at the line.
Got 3 Lone Peak defenders there. And Johnny able to find a way to find a bit of a seam and step through, and now Bartholomew back on here.
So Perkins got the first as Bartholomew comes on for Tanuvasa. And it's a 2-for-2 trip there for Perkins. So back to a 2-point advantage for Skyridge.
13 for Danya today.
Shawnee Nordstrom. Skip to Woolston. Kaylee off on the 3. She's only hit 1 3, and that was back in the first half. And it is 45-43. She's 1 of 6 from downtown. 5:35 left in the championship game. Into the corner, Shea Toole. Long on the triple and the rebound to Woolston. On the run now, Ika. McKaylee to Kennedy, back to Shawnee. Shawnee going to drive it, Perkins reverses, short. Rebound, Woolston. The putback there for Kaylee Woolston.
And those are the first points for Kaylee since that first quarter, right there.
So tied up at 45. As we dip under 5 minutes left in regulation. Blackham into the corner to Toole. Back to Cambry. She'll pull from mid-range. And it's again a 2-point Skyridge lead. Woolston to Woolston. Kaylee back up top, Kennedy. Over to Shawnee Nordstrom. Shawnee again. 4-3. Lone Peak leads.
Boy, that had to be a huge just sigh of relief for Shawnee to finally find the bottom of the net on a 3. She's had a lot of good looks today. That one the purest.
And none of them are close. She doesn't take close threes. They come off the screen. Blackham.
First Lone Peak lead in a while.
And short. Bartholomew says, I did not touch it. We'll get one look at it.
Hymas has shot the ball well from long range today.
So Mealy comes off the floor, so does Kennedy Woolston. As Tanuvasa comes back on. Naya to Kaylee. Nordstrom down the lane, got around the defender, left it off the iron, and the rebound collected and taken by Skyridge with a chance to reclaim the lead. 3:45 left in the fourth quarter. We'll have the under 4 timeout.
She maybe got caught a little bit deeper inside than maybe she had intended to be.
Coach Warner, she wanted a double dribble. They're on Hymas. And now Ika jumps it, gets the steal. Shea Toole back there with her. Michaela Ika hands off to Tanuvasa, and it's a 3-point Lone Peak lead.
Wow. You can play so well, Dusty, and it doesn't take much. And now all of a sudden it feels like Lone Peak finally into their rhythm, their flow, feeling good.
Championship minutes coming up. 3:21 left in the fourth. Lone Peak 50, Skyridge 47.
It all starts with a smile. To show you care, offer a sign of love, welcome someone home. Even when we don't see each other, or share a room, even without words, smiles bring us together. Let's keep yours healthy. Stonehaven Dental. Schedule online at stonehavendental.com.
3:21 left in the fourth quarter. We've got an outstanding 6A championship game. We said last year was the best one we've called, Dane, and this is, if it finishes like last year, we're putting it right up there.
It's been really good. Man, I mean, Skyridge has been able to go toe-to-toe, and I would feel like if Skyridge is able to get this done, this is a bigger upset than what we saw last year.
Absolutely. As Toole goes inside to Perkins, and the foul, number 5 on Bartholomew, and one! We've talked about the Teen Wolf bounces all week long. None bigger than this one from Danya Perkins.
You're straight up there, but Bartholomew, I think they just say that lateral movement into Danya, what the official called. It's going to be the 5th, and Sarah's fouled out.
And I love the reaction from Danya Perkins because she didn't know that went through, and she was like, that went in? Oh, misses the +1. So a 1-point lead for Lone Peak.
The Knights stay in quote-unquote small here.
Tanuvasa. Skip out to Woolston. Kaylee down the lane around Perkins, gets the foul call. It'll be 2 free throws.
And that might be 4 on Danya.
It is number 4 on Danya Perkins as Kaylee Woolston goes to the line. 1 of 2 from the stripe today. Calmly hits number 1. And got them both. So 52-49, Lone Peak with the lead. But this Skyridge team has been here all game long. They've not flinched. They haven't moved an inch. They keep coming at Lone Peak, the reigning 6A champs, who've not lost in the state this year. They've only had 1 single-digit game this year. Danya Perkins. Back rims the tying 3.
Wow.
Toole never had it. And now the foul going to be called here to Abby Hymas off the rebound. No, they're calling it on Lone Peak.
Boy.
Oh, no, it was. Sorry, I take it back.
Miscommunication here on the loose ball. Kaylee thinks Michaela's going to get it. Michaela, I don't know if she didn't think she had an opportunity or thought Kaylee was. Fortunately, that ball landed right in the lap of Ika.
Nordstrom to Woolston. And the young freshman wisely didn't pull the trigger on that. It would have been a quick shot as Nordstrom sends it back out. Open for 3. Kennedy Woolston, the freshman, makes it a 6-point Lone Peak lead.
The largest lead since it was 8-2. My goodness.
And that'll be a connection you'll see next year as Nordstrom and Kennedy will be back next year. Into the corner, Danya Perkins sends out to Hymas. Big moments here for Skyridge. Here's Camry Blackham. The trap from Tanuvasa sends out Danya Perkins. Danya terminates, sent back to Blackham at 8 seconds on the shot clock. Nordstrom knocks it loose. Woolston jumps on the loose ball. Jump ball.
Timeout.
Oh.
That was Michaela Ika who signaled the official timeout. The senior making a senior-like play to not use the arrow and keep it here with Lone Peak.
Full timeout. 1:38 left in the fourth. Lone Peak leading by 6. We'll be back. You're watching this 6A championship game.
UCCU will provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
1:38 left in the fourth quarter. Lone Peak 55, Skyridge 49. It's Lone Peak basketball. Possession arrow belongs to Lone Peak as well. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining, at least according to the board. As Nordstrom gets out over to Kennedy Woolston, who hit the big three. I shouldn't say biggest shot, but the big three. And that's going to be a foul on Cambry Blackham. It'll be 1-on-1 free throws for Shawnee Nordstrom.
What a game. You know what? Regardless of what happens, tip the cap to Skyridge.
Oh, absolutely.
My goodness. I don't think anyone had this game being this close, unless you're a Skyridge fan, right?
Right.
I don't think anyone else thought that that'll be a 2-possession game with 2 minutes to go.
Well, they had the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Got up by 6 in the second half as it's a 8-point advantage now to Lone Peak. Big moments.
And we talk about the tough shooting night for Shawnee. She's got 7 in this fourth quarter, stepping up when they've needed it most.
Blackham misses. Rebound to Toole. Hymas. Oh, thought that was going to go. Mealy tracks it down but saves it to Nordstrom. And Shawnee fouled by Hymas. And now Lone Peak for 31 minutes. They've been holding their breath, and for the first time today, maybe a little bit of an exhale.
Yeah. Wow.
So we shared earlier, this will be 1-on-1 free throws here for Nordstrom, but all the stuff that Skyridge has gone through just this week with Coach Nielsen, just her personally. We talked about her son, Booker, and the stuff they've dealt with in her home for the last month, and it's a lot to deal with, and it's a lot that kind of helped bonds, and this team's played really well today.
I've mentioned about Lone Peak, it feels like players kind of take their moments and bursts. How about this? Kaylee had 10 in the first. It was McKaylee with 10 in the third. Shawnee has 8 in the fourth.
Wow.
It's the same thing, right? Where it's like focus quarters, and it's not intentional,
right?
But it speaks to the talent and the depth that they have. When you need a big play, hey, in the third quarter, Ika's going to keep us around, and in the fourth quarter, hey, here comes Shawnee to help put it away.
Well, especially moments where today's been frustrating for all those players at certain times to mentally stay there, especially for Nordstrom. She was 0 of 7 at the half. She didn't score until the third quarter. And then here in the fourth, when they needed her most, knocked down that first big three. They got the lead. They got the assist to Kennedy Woolston, who hit the three to extend the lead, as Kaylee Woolston knocks down the free throws. And this is a double-digit game, but it has been a single-digit intensity.
Yeah, and Kaylee has, I think she's 4 for 4 in the fourth. I think she hit a field goal in the fourth quarter. She's got 6 in the frame, but again, those free throws so pivotal, and that Lone Peak defense doing it again. And
Naya Tanuvasa with the steal, and you can see this as Danya Perkins, or is that Cambry Blackham pick up the foul? But a timeout to Skyridge. We'll stay here for this, just to take this moment, and we were kind of going through this. For Skyridge, hey, a loss, it's fine. And they're not going to feel fine. But what an effort. This is one of the all-great teams in the state of Utah we've seen in girls basketball.
We've had people ask us which was better, this or the Mountain View team. Just to give you perspective, right?
Right.
That has been a topic.
It's been amazing. And it's like, hey, are they better than the Mountain View teams? It's like, we'll wait. And this isn't to say, well, they're not now, but it just shows what Skyridge, we talked about earlier, that they've seen it. They weren't coming here big-eyed. It's an opportunity to wipe out the previous losses with one win today to take a championship trophy home, would wipe all of them away, and they absolutely slugged their way into this game.
And just to give you a frame of reference, this has been a 20-6 fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, champions know how to make plays late, and I'm not saying Skyridge isn't, but like you talk about the clinch that Skyridge had on this game.
Yeah.
And Lone Peak has been like, nope.
It's just a matter of, hey, we're going to keep coming. That championship medal, reason we call it championship medal is, hey, things can bounce off of you. And it's that toughness as Ika hits the free throws. And in this game for Lone Peak, what kept them in this game, McKaylee Ika.
Yeah, in that third quarter. I mean, it felt like the game was kind of on life support, even though it was close, right?
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh, man. And it was McKaylee in that third just keeping it there so that when Lone Peak finally found those cylinders, pistons firing, here they are.
As Blackham sends over to Hymas, and Abby Hymas can't get that one to go as she hit some momentum shots in this ball game and really wanted to see that one drop for her. As they get this ball ahead to Kennedy Woolston, and I don't have a clock issue here.
Maybe the case.
Yeah, the shot clock showing 20 seconds. So shot clock set to 30 seconds. But valiant effort today from Skyridge, and I've dubbed this the Battle of Timpanogos Highway, Lone Peak to Skyridge. It's just absolutely a terrific ball game. What a great way to start today.
Great way. We've got 3 more great ones coming up. Lone Peak finishes the deal. Wow.
Now they end up undefeated in the state of Utah. Their only losses coming out of state in national tournaments. And it'll be a shot clock violation. The ball will go. Well, Nancy doesn't want a violation. She takes a timeout.
I was going to say, that's not going to look good in the box score.
No more turnovers.
And that's the thing. I mean, we talk about Skyridge, the game they played. Lone Peak had 10 turnovers at the half. They only had 2 in the third, took care of it in the fourth. They settled down, right? And, yeah.
And that's credit to Skyridge. Coach
Nielsen.
Shaylee Nielsen. I want to make sure I have that right. But Shaylee Nielsen, it's credit to her and her staff.
Yeah.
I mean, was ready to go. I felt like when we went down on, again, that warm-up, it seemed like it was that tense. They were loose, ready to go. The coaching staff was all having fun with them, and it shows as substitutions come in for Coach Warner. Got that into Kaylee. She'll put it up at the horn, the left hand there for Kaylee Woolston as the clock will run, and it's back-to-back state championships for the Lone Peak Knights. They get an absolute slugfest of a game from Skyridge, but it's back-to-back state championships for Nancy Warner, Kaylee Woolston, McKaylee Ika, the seniors on this team, and Meg Eaton are walking out with back-to-back state championships.
Yeah, what a run. And look, for Skyridge, again, so much respect the way they played today, executed. The Lone Peak in the end, that experience, talent shining through, and back-to-back state championships for the Knights.
Well, Dan, your final thoughts and a selection of a player of the game.
It's credit to Nancy. It's a credit to the players and everything they fought through. They wanted a national schedule. They wanted to prove how good they were, and they come out of it showing just how good this group was. A lot of talent comes back again next year for them. They're going to be back in that top 5 once again, and man, awesome. Always awesome to see these moments. Player of the game, I'm going to go with McKaylee Ika. I think that third quarter was critical to help them hang around. Again, you could have picked 3 or 4 girls, right? But I'll go with McKaylee.
And McKaylee Ika, our Heidemann Associates player of the game. And again, to Skyridge, this is a season where they learned a lot. This is a young group that's going to come back, a lot of them, and they dealt with whatever team does, go through the moments. But in this game, come into against a team that's a region rival, lost the first 2 games, but none of those games matter when you get to a state championship game. And they gave it everything they possibly could, had moments where it felt like they're going to bring it home, but in the end they fall just short because today's the day of the Lone Peak Knights. Back-to-back state championships. Last year was a surprise. This year was expected, but it always has to come hard. And they can't back down. You have to keep going, and that's exactly what Lone Peak did. Congratulations to Nancy Warner and the Lone Peak Knights. Our Heidemann Associates player of the game, McKaylee Ika. Look out for our post-game coverage. Will be coming out here on KSLSports.com and on KSL Sports Rewind on Instagram and on Twitter. But for Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of the 2023 6A Girls State Championship basketball game on your year-round home for championships, KSLSports.com. We'll let it run here, let you enjoy the moments as we will get ready for our post-game show. So long for the D Event Center.